You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
At the United Nations General Assembly in New York, former U.S. President Donald Trump delivered a fiery and combative speech that stretched nearly an hour, far longer than the allotted 15 minutes. His remarks were filled with sharp criticism of America's allies, the UN itself, and policies that he said were driving the world toward chaos. Trump's address opened with praise for the United States, calling it the hottest country anywhere, and insisting no other nation could compare. But quickly, the tone shifted as he turned his fire on Europe. He described the continent as being devastated by what he called a double-tailed monster of immigration and energy policy. According to him, Europe's embrace of open borders and renewable energy was destroying its heritage and setting it on a path to failure. Your countries are going to hell, he warned, urging leaders to follow his own hardline approach to migration. Climate change was dismissed outright as the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world. He accused world leaders of being trapped in a so-called green scam that he claimed would bankrupt nations and leave them powerless. The carbon footprint, he insisted, was a hoax created with evil intentions. His blunt remarks drew gasps from the audience, especially when he attacked European governments for pursuing renewable energy, while warning that these policies would be the death of Western Europe. Another major theme of Trump's speech was his frustration with countries that have recently chosen to recognize Palestinian statehood. He accused those governments of rewarding terrorism and encouraging Hamas to continue fighting. Without naming them directly, he pointed to Australia, Canada, the UK, and several European nations that had announced recognition in the past few days. Instead of granting legitimacy to Palestine now, Trump argued that the global community should be united under one demand: the immediate release of hostages. The United Nations itself did not escape his ire. Trump said the organization had tremendous potential, but had failed to prevent wars and conflicts. In his view, the UN had become little more than a body that issues strongly worded letters without follow-through. He contrasted this with his own claims of personally ending 7 wars, an assertion widely disputed by experts and some of the countries involved. On Ukraine, Trump struck a surprisingly optimistic tone, suggesting that with enough support from NATO and the European Union, Kyiv could retake all of its lost territory from Russia. He described Russia as a paper tiger, and insisted President Putin's refusal to end the war was not making Russia look good. However, he stopped short of committing more direct American support, putting the burden squarely on Europe. To his critics, the speech was a blend of exaggeration, grievance, and nationalism. But to his supporters, it was a bold defense of American leadership and an unfiltered critique of global institutions. Unlike 6 years ago, when world leaders laughed during one of his UN speeches, this time they mostly sat in silence, listening as Trump declared he was really good at this stuff, and warned, once again, that others were steering their nations toward ruin. Stay subscribed for more videos.